Chris, what makes a good director good?
What are you, drunk? I barely heard that. What makes a good director good?
Yeah, what makes a good director good?
You know what? Actually, instead of directly answering that, let's talk about that, because I pulled some quotes from some articles I was reading about this because I wanted to be prepared to talk about this. Hang on, let me see here what one of these would be good to talk about, because I mean, as we said before, you know, you're kind of on both sides of the fence of sometimes being an actor, sometimes being the director, sometimes being the cinematographer, sometimes being, you know, we all wear multiple hats. Right. But anyway, I was looking up some articles, and actually one of the ones that you probably know of because of all the masterclass ads that we all get targeted with because we're in video production.
All the time.
Some masterclass put out an article talking about some of the things Martin Scorsese did for their masterclass, and he there were just a couple. I think they asked him like what people can do to become better directors, or just his experience. But one of the things he was talking about, which I would be deathly afraid to do, which I'm curious your opinion on, which is a lot of people say that it's beneficial for someone who's going to be in a directorial role to like literally take acting classes.
I have an opinion.
I know you do. I'm saying that I don't know if I would do that because I'm afraid to open myself up.
So I've heard, because I watch a lot.
It's probably I'm half joking, by the way.
Half joking.
I think I literally am.
Too afraid to act.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go.
It's hard, man. You know, it's tough mentally.
Well, I listened to a lot of interviews from Quentin Tarantino, and Tarantino started in acting. He wanted to be an actor.
Oh,
he did a lot of acting.
I didn't know that.
That ended up leading him to directing and writing. But he started as an actor, and he's acted in a lot of his movies too. A lot of his early movies, even Reservoir Dogs, he's like in a lot of it. So he slowly is like just end up being just cameos, but he was acting in a lot of his movies. And he says that, and I've heard from other directors too, about taking an acting class, because so this is one of the things that I struggle with also when directing is working with actors.
Right.
And because I think the benefits of it is because I act and I'm an actor in your movies and other movies, but I don't take acting classes, and I only have once, and it was like because Grace told me to, and like because Grace told me to.
Oh, that's so funny.
Grace helped me get a talent manager, and I ended up going.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, so
Jeez.
I did. I went to Grace's acting school, took a class.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, you should."
So what year was that?
This was 2016.
Okay.
So I auditioned for Blue Bloods.
Did that ever wind up going anywhere?
I never got anything from it. And then eventually I did not keep up on my profiles. I didn't keep up with going to the classes because they were like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
So I haven't got anything in a while.
Well, anyway, what do you think about that? Because you're right in there. You know, you took the class.
I took a class.
So one class.
Right. So
so you're not as qualified.
No, I'm not. That's the thing. And I want to get better at is because I'm not qualified. And I learned this from Jackie too.
You're more qualified than me.
I learned this from Jackie because I don't know. The thing is, as a directing, I think if you're a director who knows the techniques that the actors are learning, you would be better able to tap in and say the right things to them. Because if you understand how they operate, and because they operate from the technicals of the classes that they take,
right?
So they operate from Meisner or whatever their style is. If you understand those styles, then you know how to not manipulate them, but you know how to help them get to where you want them to be. You know how to speak to them. You know what their techniques are, and you know the things to say to them that can help get a better performance, rather than just say, "Okay, I need you to be angry now."
Well, yeah, that's the big debate. Is a lot of people not a debate, but a critique of a lot of people. I mean, I think when you're first starting out, it's like one of those things that is like beginner's mistake of just like you can't articulate what you want in better terms than more, less,
Right.
a little bit more,
Right.
a little bit less.
Yes.
Of like, there's the famous, just like, a lot of people said that about George Lucas about, he would always say, just like, crank it up a notch.
Make them sound evil.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Stuff like that. You can debate over if that worked or not in the Star Wars movies.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, so it's like it's got to help, right? Like flush that out a little bit so you're not so
I would
so limited in your vocabulary.
Right.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like you don't know it's like a different language.
It's a psychology too.
Yeah.
It's knowing how to talk to people, but then knowing how to talk to these certain types of people because they're actors and they think whether they think a certain way because of the techniques that they are taught. I mean, when you direct me, I have the benefit of not knowing anything. I don't have a technique because Jackie says this is a great thing
that's interesting.
that I benefit from.
I never thought about
that. When I am acting, it's pure instinct because I don't have a technique to pull from. I don't have any training,
and that's back to the you have a knack for it. You have undoubtedly a natural talent for that. Because no, dude, I'm serious. I mean, but you know what I'm saying of like, the different levels of like, you're already got some natural talent going for you and it shows, so that, say Jackie might interpret what I say through a different lens.
Right.
Because of just where her brain's at mentally.
Yes. Yeah.
With like thinking about conveying emotion. That blows my mind. I can't.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
And sometimes when it's not working well, she gets inside of her head or pulls from the things that she learns, and like I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen to me because I don't know those things. It just comes from
something.
My brain. I don't know.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is one of the more interesting experiences I've had when we did this short Lucidity junior year, 5-minute short, where we had a scene where we needed Grace to cry.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Are you cool with that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I can do it. And we're like, "Okay, all right, I wonder how she's gonna do it." And I don't know, I've never seen anyone make themselves cry before. It was weird to witness, but she literally like put on some tunes and like got in the zone. And she was like, "All right, I'm ready." And I was like, "I guess I'll hit record." And all of a sudden she's like fucking crying, and Ryan and I are like almost laughing out of nervousness because I like don't know how to do I tell her to stop if we're cutting, or do I like we didn't really go over how to handle that,
calm her down,
so, because I don't want to lose it,
right?
You know, because I'm seeing good stuff. So what was I gonna say? I was gonna bring that back to you somehow. Well, that's right, because do you think you go through that same process as an actor of when we haven't done too much stuff like that together of very emotional stuff, but doing what kind of, I think, my perception of what they do of going into their own heads a little bit and getting conjuring up something that is artificial but manifests itself physically.
So everything I've tried that I've been doing and trying to do is comes from me. There was at one point where it's something like almost like clicked, and it was stop trying to pretend that I'm a character and just like be me in the moment. And it's kind of, I just pretend that whatever's happening, those things are actually happening to me. And just, it's more about just for me trying to be as honest as possible,
right?
And whether it's like even delivering dialogue,
and that's
even saying
it's got to be a good thing, because that probably makes it as raw as possible. I mean, I don't know. This is like not my wheelhouse, so it's interesting to learn more about this stuff. We should get one of them on here.
Yeah,
and talk more about that. Grace or Jackie or someone.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't think we could fit 4 people. Best we can do is 3.
It's 3.
But anyway, that's great. So anyway, that was that's always something to think about, of like
so then
the language of acting.
How do you think? How would you rate, or how do you work with actors, or what is your like? How do you think you do working with actors?
Like I said, it used to be like I had no idea how to handle something like that. I think, through experience of doing a lot more of this stuff, we've matured in that sense of, knowing that we're all here to accomplish something and, trying to go about that in the best possible way. I still rely heavily on actors from pre-production. I mean, this when we have meetings, I'm always kind of the bigger idea person, and someone like Jackie, who's, got all this other experience acting, really is able to pull certain things out of the stories that we create into specifics.
I remember she wrote,
and it's what works for her,
Yeah.
And I don't think everyone does that, but but it helps me with like flushing out stories, she gives me ideas.
When we did the alleyway thing, and she was supposed to, we were talking about characters, and we were standing out on the sidewalk talking about everything, and then she wrote down in her notebook like 5 pages of notes and back.
That's the thing is she's flushed out every little moment so that she can kind of live it in her head and get to that point in time where the script is. And it's crazy how she does that.
It's awesome.
Because I can't do it.
No, I don't. I mean, her and I collaborated on a date night too.
Yeah,
we had phone calls, and we were talking about the characters, because a lot of it we were going to improv it, but we had to know. Like we had to know our motivations, we had to know our wants and our needs, and she's telling me all this stuff like, oh, okay, yeah. So she's telling me all the stuff that I need to figure out for my character.
I mean, at one point she was talking about how, that's the thing is the backstories.
Yeah.
Is that she comes up with really good backstories, and bringing it back to what, how I work with people is, that only helps me because I can understand. All the stuff Jackie comes up with is usually like really good, and it only helps me understand my own story better,
and your own characters,
and know what to tell her.
Yeah.
But from straight up working with actors, I like to kind of just roll with that idea of like let them take it where they want to take it, and I think that was one of the things that that he was talking about too.
Yeah.
Of like, it's trust in each other. That the two roles, I don't even, I mean, if we were on a bigger production and the script was like written by someone we had, it might be a little more locked down.
Right.
But I'm flexible with everything, man.
Yeah. Same.
And you have to be, because it's like, otherwise it's not fun. Like, and we say like, how many times do I say this too? Of like the last take where I say, do whatever you want. It's like 90% the one that we use. Because you guys just know. Like you guys can just do that. And it's an important thing just overall to trust who you're working with, and don't be tied to, what your preconception of your own story is, because filmmaking is collaborative, and that's that,
Yeah. I mean, so you can't be tied to anything. You can't be tied to location. You can't be tied to even the people who are you thought were going to be in it, but then couldn't make it that day. You can't be tied to like anything.
Yeah.
Because anything and everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Hell yeah.
And it's our job.
That's my life.
But I think on our level of directing, sometimes it's super collaborative in a way where like there is no single director. It's like,
Yeah, like I said, only this last project was I truly in like director role.
Right.
And that was really fun.
So, well, we were talking about before about being on set and stuff. Like, does being on set make you nervous?
It used to. It's funny. I thought I was going to be nervous for this music video thing we just did. Well, I keep referencing it. I should probably explain it a little bit. This was our first bigger freelance project. We worked with a couple people from Boston. This girl, she's 16, Allie Haber, and Ryan had some connection that wound up getting us to film this music video. And it was a little bit of a bigger deal, bigger than we've done, because it's a client. And the clients, the girl's 16. She's coming with her parents. She's coming with the agent.
A lot of pressure.
So yeah, it's a lot of pressure. It's weird. And I thought I was going to feel that way, nervous and, not knowing what we're doing. But we had a lot of prep, which was good. So there wasn't a lot of things to worry about. But, things always go wrong.
Yeah.
And I found myself for the first time, like, commanding a room of people. And like I talk to James all the time, but we work on a lot of stuff together. And I have a really hard time delegating. Which is another thing in being a director of, having the confidence to tell people to do a certain thing and then trusting them to do that.
To do it, yeah.
Fuck, is that hard?
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing for me. To let go of the camera.
Yeah, to give up control.
And like to do the light the way I want it, and but thankfully we're all pretty set. I have a great amount of trust for James and almost everyone we work with. But yeah, I wasn't nervous at all. With the client sitting right there, I knew exactly what I wanted and how to get it. And that's recent for me.
Did that have to do with your process? Like, can you explain the process of like shooting a music video? This is your third versus shooting a short film. Like, what was your process going into this?
The process was pretty similar, but I think the overarching idea that you can kind of attribute to all of this is a little bit about what we were talking about before, about having the experience to back up decisions. That's really it right there. Because I know that I want this softbox over there because I've done it before.
Right. I
know that we can light this way because we've done it before. So just tell other people to do it. And I know what works from an acting standpoint to some degree. And I was able to properly communicate to that. And, thankfully, she was wonderful. She knew how to perform, that's for sure. So that helped. But I mean, ultimately, the experience on set is experience on set. And you learn things, and when you have the experience to back up a decision, that's confidence.
Yeah, you build confidence, yeah.
And confidence is the biggest thing. And boy, does it feel good. Right? Yeah. Like being able to be in charge and like be confident in your decisions, it's the best feeling. It's wonderful. So yeah, coming back to the question, I think there's the experience is experience, right? And it's kind of the same vibe as the sets we've had, just with a slight tweak of content.